So, Adam, one of the all-time greats we lost this week. That's Franz Beckenbauer. You remember Franz, the Kaiser, the captain of the German national team.
That's right.
He was also the coach. So he, as a player, he won the World Cup. As a coach, he won the World Cup. And he also played here in America. Played with the New York Cosmos. A friend of ours, Joe Filion, played with him on that Cosmos team, and he's told me some great stories about Franz. Excuse me. They called him Frank, and he hated that.
Oh yeah.
But here's this is the most German thing I've ever seen, and I'm allowed to say this because I'm a German.
Okay.
A family statement on Monday read, "It is with deep sadness that we inform you that my husband and our father, Franz Beckenbauer, fell asleep peacefully yesterday, Sunday, surrounded by his family. We ask that you mourn in silence and refrain from asking any questions."
Okay.
All righty. Long live the Kaiser. It's time for Free Kicks.
And now, Free Kicks. Free Kicks with Illinois Youth Soccer Association's Director of Coaching, Adam Howarth, and Rick Kemper.
I'm not mocking him, but that is very German thing to say. So we have not been on for a little while because there were the festive fixtures and there was the FA Cup. And maybe we should start with the FA Cup because the fourth round draw was pulled out this week. And there's some exciting upcoming matches that I wanted to talk to you about.
Definitely some tasty matches, to say the least. I mean, the third round was great because you had Liverpool versus Arsenal. What a great game.
Unbelievable.
So that was nice.
Especially the way it ended.
Yeah, especially for those Liverpool fans who were really happy. So, yeah, it was good.
But there's a couple more in this next round that are just equally exciting, I think. There's a couple of matchups of Premier League titans, if you will.
Yes.
Right now, I'm noticing that Tottenham Hotspur is matched up against Manchester City. Now, that is going to be a heck of a game for a fourth rounder.
Definitely. That would be a good match for sure.
I mean, look at some of the other clubs that are like Plymouth Argyle is still in it. You know, who are some of the others? Actually, there aren't that many that are.
Well, the big one they got a draw is Eastleigh United.
Yes.
So Eastleigh is they've still got to play Newport again in a replay, and if they win that would be the game to watch. They would be playing at home versus Manchester United. That would be awesome. And if
tell everybody
Man United
what
lose
Eastleigh
that
is. Tell everybody who Eastleigh is. Yeah.
Well, it's basically a non-league team. So when you think about all of the in terms of the club itself, I think they're in like the National League, which is kind of the league lower down. That's the top league, non-conference league. So that gives you an idea of where they are. And it's based in Hampshire, so which is kind of in an area, kind of Wessex area, which is kind of not too far from Southampton, that kind of area there. So that's kind of where they would be close to. But they've kind of risen up through the leagues, kind of done a little bit of a Wrexham in that respect, and they've done a nice job. If you look at I'm looking at their roster, it's quite an international group. They've got some guys from France. They've got some Dutch players, Korean players. So it's quite an international group of players. So, I'm just hoping they can get the result against Newport to get in and then be able to host. I'm not big how their stadium is. I think it's very small. I think it would only hold 5,000, I think, if I remember. So
that would be awesome.
Now, they might move that to Man United just because of safety things. So, which is probably good for them because then they would get a bigger cut of the amount of money. But still, I would much rather them host it. That would be awesome.
I want to see Manchester United play on that field.
Yeah, exactly. And I could just see them going into the into the locker room and kind of it basically be the size of a front room. It's a small little space, which would be kind of cool. But they produce some players in the past, so you never know.
There's another one I'm looking at here that I've not heard of, and I'm sure you have. It's Maidstone United.
Yep, Maidstone United. So again, another team that's kind of in the lower levels of English football. So semi-professional club based in Kent. So they're also in that 6th level of the Football League. So they're not in the National League, the top league. They were in the South Division because it's split up regionally.
Okay.
So that would be another great game if they had to do it. And I think, who are they playing?
They're playing Ipswich Town.
Oh yeah, so that's that'd be great for them. It's away. But Ipswich is doing really well near the top of the Championship, may even be in the Premier League. So Great draw for them. So
and they've been in the Premier League before, haven't they, Ipswich?
Yes. Oh yeah. They were in there for a little while before. They probably did really well years before, especially with when Bobby Robson was the manager. Actually won the UEFA Cup, won the FA Cup. They had some really good players back in the day. But kind of working their way up now, the leagues again. So that's pretty cool.
This is the exciting thing about the FA Cup, and it's all on ESPN Plus, which we can watch here. In England, do you have access to be able to see all the games like we see here?
No, that's the thing. I think you actually get to see more games here, which is really quite nice. Now they do have a really nice wrap-up show called Match of the Day, typically on Saturday and Sunday. So that's the only thing. But if there's like a game on a Friday or a game on a Monday, they'll probably show that live. But typically the Saturday, Sunday games aren't too often live. So it just depends. It just depends on the TV networks.
Well, there's still a lot of Premier League teams in the competition.
Yeah,
there's another great matchup. That's Chelsea versus Aston Villa. A home game for Chelsea.
Yeah, it should be a nice, easy win for the Blues. So as we march on through the cups, although we had a bit of a rough game yesterday against Middlesbrough in the semi-finals of the League Cup, but that's all right. That's 2 legs. They'll be fine.
Yeah,
they'll beat them 3 or 4-0 at home. Not worried.
Yeah, I guess we could talk about that next. But also, the other one I wanted to mention was Fulham versus Newcastle United. So both of ththose teams are kind of struggling right now. Newcastle United certainly is.
Oh, for sure. I think they've lost 4 of their last 5. So, they 3 of their last 4, sorry. So they're definitely going down. It's not good if Chelsea's getting close to them. So that's how poorly they've been doing. But so that would be a nice game. A lot of black and white. That'd be interesting to see who wears the black and white. So we'll see how that goes.
All right. So Carabao Cup, you mentioned it. Let's just briefly go into that. As this show posts on Friday, will we have any results or just the games that have been played so far?
Yeah, so we're in the semi-final stage. So Chelsea played on Tuesday. Wednesday is Liverpool versus Fulham, who we just mentioned. So they play today, as we're recording it on Wednesday. So, and then the second legs will be, I believe, next week or so, maybe week and a half. And we'll see what happens.
It's a home and away thing for the Carabao Cup. Okay.
Yeah, they're not playing at Wembley like they do with the FA Cup when they play the Final Four at Wembley. But Liverpool-Fulham should be a good game. That could go either way.
You think so?
Yeah, why not?
All right.
Chelsea-Fulham final is what we want.
Okay, let's see. Let's see if that happens. All right. Now, the reason why we've been off for so long is, it was the holidays. Yeah. But the festive fixtures, say that quickly a few times, I took a look at where the standings were as we went into them and where they are now. And, there are definitely some winners and some losers over this holiday period. And to me, the biggest surprise is a team that got 9 points out of this. The Wolves, Wolverhampton, had the best form over the holidays.
Interesting. Yeah. 3 good wins. Yeah. And they're moving up. So, that was good. Gary O'Neill's sorting the team out. So, I watched a few of their games. They look very good. It seems like they've gotten playing for each other. And the nice thing for them is some of their players are coming back from injury as well. So they were missing some of their top players. Excuse me. Yeah. So they were doing really well. And then all of a sudden, a bunch of players got injured. Excuse me. And now they're starting to come back. So I think they're going to be in a good spot down the road, because I know Max Kilman, who was their captain, he was injured for a little bit. Now he's coming back.
Another team that saw an improvement of 3 places was West Ham.
Yeah.
Now they beat Manchester United and Arsenal. Not too bad.
That's right.
and then had a draw with Brighton, so that was also a good festive fixture period. But to me, the team that benefited the most, as always, was Manchester City.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, they kind of timed that well, didn't they? They got back. Everybody else was dropping points. They're drawing a couple of wins. They've still got a game in hand. There'll be a couple of points out of first place.
Yes.
When you thought they were dropping, they find a way to get back. And I don't know if you heard, Kevin De Bruyne is back.
I saw that.
So that's not a bad addition. It's like a new signing all of a sudden. So they're going to be a little bit better, I think, when he gets going.
Yeah, it turns out they have been toying with us, as we posited a few weeks ago. So on the other end of this spectrum, all right, there are some teams that definitely did not do themselves any favors. We mentioned Newcastle's been struggling. They lost to Luton, Nottingham Forest, and Liverpool.
Yeah.
But Arsenal, this just shows you how little I know, because I was saying a couple of episodes ago that they were playing the best out of any of these teams.
Yeah.
Boy, did they have a bad holiday season.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with what you just said there. So, yeah, absolutely. They struggled. They struggled big time. It seems like they're going to have to do a little bit of regrouping. They kind of got found out over that time. Obviously, losing to West Ham was a big loss. So they've got to rejuvenate themselves a little bit. I can kind of just see Arteta on the sidelines and in the locker room not being too happy with his players, but away it goes.
And as a Liverpool supporter, I see that they are still at the top of the table. But I will note, and everybody who watches the Premier League knows this, they will not have Mo Salah for the next possibly 8 or 9 games.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't see it without him. He is such an important part of that team.
Yeah, he's been good. He's been a great addition for me on my fantasy football team, getting a lot of points. I think he's the leading point getter. But yeah, it's going to be a big miss. I don't know if you heard Jurgen Klopp's message when he left. He said, "We wish you the best of luck and we hope you lose early so you come back." So I thought that was great. So he wants him, and Endo's gone as well too.
Right.
So all of these players that have been pretty significant for them, that's going to be a big loss for them. Right. And interestingly enough, one of the teams that didn't lose any players, Manchester City.
I know.
Exactly.
And not only did they not lose any players, they got Kevin De Bruyne back.
Exactly right. Exactly. It all works out.
We can see where that is going. All right. Free Kicks is brought to you by the Illinois Youth Soccer Association.
Illinois Youth Soccer has been proudly serving the soccer community since 1975 and has a strong history of credibility. Illinois Youth Soccer is a non-profit corporation, official state association and chart member of the U.S. Soccer Federation, administers U.S. Soccer Federation coaching programs, U.S. Soccer Federation referee programs, and the U.S. Soccer Federation Olympic Development Program. For more information, go to illinoisyouthsoccer.org. And as a side note, as of, I believe, tomorrow, we're going to be getting a new website. Whoa. Exciting times.
Oh, wait. Don't you have a report? Wait, actually, here we go.
And now, the latest Chicago area soccer news. Soccer news with Coach Adam. Coach Adam.
And actually, that's not the right one to play, is it? Because you're going to tell me a story about something that happened outside of Chicago.
Yeah, that's right. So, it wasn't quite in Chicago, but we had obviously a lot of teams who are based in the Chicagoland area with our Olympic development program. We competed, and this is an interesting one for us because we typically try to do friendlies and do things, but we changed it up a little bit. We went out to Phoenix, Arizona this past week and sent 10 teams to compete in the Far West Championships. Definitely a little bit different. We tried to select as stronger teams as we could. Still missing a few players because, as we all know, there's 1,000 different platforms for kids are playing, and there were still conflicts. You know, there's never a conflict that can't be dealt with these days. So we ended up taking 10 teams, did well. 4 teams got to the semifinals, and then 1 team ended up being a champion, which was great. So congrats to the 2010 girls, but really good. Lots of wins for the teams. They did extremely well. For myself, probably the highlight for us, even though we lost in the semifinal, I had the 2011 boys, was pretty cool because we played Hawaii. How often are you going to play Hawaii?
Yeah, that's cool.
That was pretty awesome. And after the game, it was cool. They gave all the players little stickers, and I got a nice box of biscuits, a little bit of Hawaiian cookies. So that was pretty cool. So unfortunately, I scoffed them on the trip back, but that's okay. But it was very nice of them to do that. So that was good, and they were obviously a top team, and found out that they actually practiced. It's basically a club team. Because of the size of the island, obviously they're training 2-3 times a week, so a little bit different. But kind of a tough one. It was a close game. We lost 1-0 in the semi-final, but and they ended up actually winning the whole thing. We was the closest game we got to them. So it would have been nice to play in the final.
On your way back is when the flight was canceled?
Yeah, so we had a big cancellation. A lot of all the coaches, some coaches were able to get about early, and then we got in Tuesday morning early. So we had to get the red eye, as they call it, the 11:59 p.m. flight from Phoenix into Chicago. So, but we got here, and then I'm heading out to the convention again. So heading out to the tracksuit convention that you love so much. I'm sure we'll see a lot of people in Adidas and Nike black stuff. So heading out there today and be there through the weekend.
And where is that one?
And it's in Anaheim.
Oh.
So I was pretty much there. You know, I was almost there. So, but came back, had a few things to do here in the last day or so, and heading back out there again. So looking forward to a good trip and seeing what's new in the soccer world.
Well, we appreciate you slumming with us in the meantime. And while you're home, you get to play this.
Time now to guess the Premier League star.
All right, so I think I've been too hard on you recently, so I've got an easy one this week.
Oh, that's nice of you.
You ready?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, this week's Premier League star is 32 years old.
Okay.
So he's been around. In fact, he's playing for his 4th Premier League club. Has over 250 appearances in the league. All right, and we discussed this a few weeks ago. There are only a handful of players that have that many appearances in the league. He's a defender, but he has scored over 50 times.
Interesting.
I won't tell you his current club, but I will tell you his previous clubs. And this may give it away. All right. His previous clubs are West Brom, Watford, and West Ham. They were all in the Premier League when he played for them.
Wow. Would this player be playing with Arsenal?
He would not. He wears number 15. He gets a lot of yellow cards. Same color as his current kit.
All right. So, interesting. So, yellow cards, yellow team, has to be Who plays in yellow? I'm trying to think. Who plays in yellow in the Premier League?
His current team had an unexpectedly good festive fixtures era.
Who we just talked about, obviously, a little bit before.
Uh-huh.
So who's playing?
They got 9 points over the.
Oh my goodness!
Over the holidays.
Having a blank here. This is terrible.
I think it's okay.
It's because of lack of sleep. It's lack of sleep.
It could be, the depressurized cabin when the door flew off of your airplane. Or...
Well, when they said, Adam, can you fly the plane? I thought that was a bit harsh, especially when I was going on a lack of sleep. So that's part of the problem.
All right, I'll give you another clue. He shares a last name with the former host of Family Feud, who used to kiss all the women. He also was a star of Hogan's Heroes.
I'd never seen Hogan's Heroes.
You've never seen Hogan's Heroes?
No, I'm English, remember. I'm trying to remember.
Well, this guy...
Family Feud had 25 different
yes, but this guy was the original host of Family Feud.
Oh, see, I was in England at that time. I was only a kid. Remember, I was thinking, Steve Harvey? Who's that?
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. What else can I tell you about this?
This is the saddest day of this.
All right. So the yellow team is
okay. So it's Wolverhampton Wanderers. They don't. That's more of an orange. It's orange.
No, that's really, yellow.
It's not yellow.
It's not the same yellow as a yellow card, but it's still yellow.
See, that's what confused the crap out of me. Okay. So there you go. Okay. All right, and this wasn't, so I get it. Craig Dawson, there you go. Very well done. All right. But you messed me up with the yellow. That's what happened.
Oh, good.
I got all messed up.
Good. By the way, Richard Dawson was the original host of Family Feud, and he was also in Hogan's Heroes, and he is a fellow Englishman. So.
Okay.
There you go.
I'm looking up to see if you would classify them as yellow, because I'm going to chat with Wolves fans. I'll chat with Mindy and see if I can get the official colour of Wolverhampton Wanderers.
Yeah, please.
I would not say it's yellow.
Okay, all right, that's fine. Whatever you're clinging to is fine with me. But I'm going to put you back to work because it's time for this.
Now time for Adam's Weekend Soccer TV Tip.
I know you're going to be flying out to the left coast and all, but...
Gold. That's what it is. Gold is the official colour.
Okay.
So that's what it is. It's not yellow. Come on.
Okay. So he also gets a lot of gold cards.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, exactly. Gold.
From American Express.
Well, here's the irony of this. When I was playing under-9 football back in the day in England, and we were back in those days, we played 11-a-side on a full-size pitch. Of course you did, because that's what you do. That was my very first kit. That was what I first played in, because my manager at the time was a Wolves fan. Wolves were very good back in the day there. Yeah, so we used to wear gold, not yellow, gold, black shorts and gold socks. Yeah, that was our kit.
Like the Chicago Sting.
Exactly, yeah. So back in the day.
All right.
All right. Well, so let's watch some games. So,
yes, all right. So you probably won't be able to see them, but what about the rest of us?
Well, possibly. The only this kind of sucks. So when he was, excuse me. So Friday through Monday is the games this week. So you've got kind of a stagger. The Saturday game. I was looking at this. I'm like, this is a derby. We love our derbies. Chelsea versus Fulham could be the League Cup final as well. I was looking at it. So they kick off at 6:30 Central Time. So that would be 4:30 my time. I'm like, I'm never going to get any sleep the rest of the week. This is going to be awful. So that's definitely a good one.
And when you say derby, just so people know, tell everybody how close those two clubs are, geographically speaking.
Yeah, I mean, basically 10 minutes. I mean, it's very, very close. I mean, it's not like... so. Notts Forest and Notts County, the two stadiums are literally yards apart. That's how close they are. Say Liverpool, Everton, within basically a park. Right. Is the distance, but yeah, a little bit further away in terms of travel, but still in the same borough, still the hooty tooty part of London, that's for sure. Well, but that would be a good one.
And isn't the Chelsea Stadium on Fulham Road or something like that?
Yes, that's right. Yeah, you get off. Yeah, I know. You get off at Fulham Broadway is the tube station. Yeah. And it's on Fulham Road. Yeah, you're absolutely right in that respect. So, but that's a good one. But I think the game to watch is going to be on Sunday. It's got to be Man United versus Spurs. I think that's going to be a real good one. 10:30 on Peacock. Should be a really good game. Looking forward to that one. I mean, you've also got Newcastle, Man City, but the way Newcastle's playing, I think that's going to be an easy win for Man City. But so we'll see how Spurs can go against Man United. So it should be a good one. And Monday's Brighton Wolves. So the gold team against the blue team. So that could be a good one too. So
you're never going to.
You never know.
Right, let me ask you this. We're in January now. So
yeah,
right. The window is open.
Yes, that's right. That's right. So
Have you heard any rumblings?
Well, I know Ian Matson, who was Chelsea's player, he just went out on loan to another team that wears gold, Borussia Dortmund. Okay. So he's out there, went with them.
Definitely yellow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, gold, yeah. Whatever. I have heard that there's some speculation that Calvin Phillips there of Man City, he's probably going to go out on loan with somebody as well. I think they're talking potentially Juventus is somebody there.
That's good for him because he's not playing at all.
Yes, exactly. So, yeah, they need to figure something out. So that's going to be – there's definitely going to be some things there. And then I've even heard – I don't know if this is going to happen. It's outside the Premier League, but it kind of relates to your team from Bayern Munich there. But Alphonso Davies from Canada might be targeted by Real Madrid.
Ooh.
So that would be a big one. So, yeah, that could be kind of a big move for them. So, and obviously Real Madrid has got Bellingham, who's probably England's best player right now, and proving everything else. So, but yeah, there'll definitely be some ones there. And the big one so far is probably Tottenham signing on loan. Timo Werner is now at Tottenham. So he'll be able to be poorly missing chances again, not only for Tottenham, as he did for all the other temes.
Wouldn't it kill you if he came in and became a superstar like Salah and Kevin De Bruyne, the other former
That would
Chelsea
be terrible.
players?
that would be terrible, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Have you heard anything about what's going on with Jadon Sancho?
Yeah, so with Jadon, he's still with the club. That he might be a player that may move out on loan as well. He's being pretty adamant. He's not going to apologize. Ten Hag's not going to apologize. And he's training on his own. And that's the saddest thing about it. And I know the players have tried to kind of come in and try to kind of help the situation, but Ten Hag's pretty adamant about not changing anything around. So it's just the way it's going to be, unfortunately. But so there'll be a lot of movement, a lot of different things. Right now, nothing great yet, but you'll hear the big ones, I'm sure. So we'll see what happens.
We had I guess I can say this now. Free Kicks is brought to you by Green White Soccer Club.
We had
a Green White meeting last night. There's anytime you're involved in youth sports, there's always drama, and I was thinking last night. Yes, there's drama in any youth sports, but what about professional sports? I mean, this Jadon Sancho thing is worse than like a 12-year-old girls team. Yeah,
exactly. I feel bad for him. I mean, he said something he shouldn't have done, but he's not apologizing, and Ten Hag's not. Like I mentioned, it's just they're just kind of sitting in the corner saying we're not going to change this, and so. Yeah, you're absolutely
meanwhile,
right.
they paid like $80 million or something like that for him to come to Manchester United.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, what a waste. What a waste.
Well, it couldn't happen to a nicer team. All right. The Free Kicks is brought to you by Green White Soccer Club. If you want to find out more about Green White, we have teams for all ages. We even have an over 50 team you can go to greenwhitesoccer.org. We have people to thank. We need to thank our executive producer, Tony Lasano, with Opie Shows. Opie is hippo backwards, OPPIH shows.com. We also want to thank Ed Silla from the Radio Misfits Podcast Network. He distributes the show. And we'll be back again next week with a brand new episode of Free Kicks.
The preceding was a presentation of the Radio Misfits Podcast Network. Find our other great shows on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and at RadioMisfits.com. Thank you.
This has been a presentation of Opie Productions.
Tony, can you shut up?